We hear that phrase, free and fair elections, all the time. But what if the free part is kind of broken long before you even get to the voting booth? What if the information you're getting is controlled or biased or, well, just not there at all? That's the big question we're digging into. Are we as voters actually being empowered with knowledge, or are we being kept in the dark on purpose? No, really, just stop and think about that for a second. Does free and fair just mean nobody's peeking over your shoulder as you vote? Or is there something deeper, like maybe a right to get unbiased, straight-up facts? Because how you answer that question, that's the foundation for everything we're about to get into. And this slide, wow, it just lays out the massive gap between the dream and the reality, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the ideal, voters making smart choices based on policy debates. But on the other side, you have what's happening on the ground in places like Meghalaya. Here, the info's totally controlled by the candidates themselves. So the whole conversation shifts from merit and performance to just personality and patronage. So how does a gap like that even happen? Well, the source material calls it an information vacuum. Let's break down what that actually means and why it's such a big deal. Okay, so here's the core of it, this idea of informational weakness. Now, this isn't about saying voters aren't smart, not at all. It's about a system that's failing to give people the basic, neutral facts they need to make a rational choice. And when that happens, it basically rolls out the red carpet for manipulation. And what's kind of crazy is we have institutions that are supposed to prevent exactly this. I mean, the Election Commission has a clear job description. Run awareness campaigns, teach people how to check up on candidates, explain why selling your vote is a terrible idea for your own future. But when that stuff doesn't happen, or it's just a half-hearted effort, a huge pillar of our democracy just starts to wobble. This quote right here really just cuts straight to the point. When people are kept in the dark, things like money, identity politics, and straight-up fear become way more powerful than logic and reason. An uninformed voter isn't really making a free choice, are they? They're just being swayed by whoever shouts the loudest or spends the most. All right, so this isn't just theory. Let's talk about the real-world consequences when this information vacuum takes hold, because it directly changes how people vote. And the results, well, they can be pretty shocking. Let's make this personal for a minute. Just think back to the last election. Did you get anything official, anything that wasn't from a political party, explaining your rights or how to research candidates? Or was your mailbox just a war zone of competing party flyers? And what about this? This is a huge one. Every single candidate has to file a public document, an affidavit, that lists their assets, their debts, and any criminal record they might have. It's all public information. But be honest, how many people in your own family even know that this exists, let alone how to find it? I mean, this question really gets to the heart of it all. How is it that the rumor mill about who's handing out cash spreads like wildfire, but the actual policy promises, the things that will affect your life for the next 5 years, are a total mystery to most people? That right there is informational weakness in action. Okay, look, it's easy to hear all this and feel pretty down about the whole thing. But the point here isn't to make you feel powerless. It's the exact opposite. The source doesn't just point out the problem, it actually gives us a toolkit, a clear way for us to take back some of that control. So here's the bottom line. We just can't sit around and wait for the system to spoon-feed us the truth. The single most powerful weapon against all this manipulation is getting out there and finding neutral, factual information for ourselves. And the best part? It's actually way more straightforward than you might think. It's really just 4 simple steps. Find that affidavit online or in person. Check for the big stuff, assets, debts, any criminal cases. And then, and this is probably the most important part, share what you find. You can literally become the source of good, factual info for your family and friends. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe most critical point. Knowing there's a problem is one thing, but actually doing something about it, well, that's the real challenge. At the end of the day, a healthy democracy asks for a little more from us than just showing up to vote every few years. It's really an invitation for us to be active players, to be investigators, to be questioners, to be sharers of facts. It's about changing how we think about our duty as citizens. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Is the system really doing enough to get you the information you need? Or has the responsibility now shifted? Is it now up to us to do the digging and inform ourselves? That's a question that goes way beyond this explainer, and it's one we all need to be asking.